This is your first Q&A final examination at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Mr. Dunlop, Joey Sell, Gold Coast, and Craigslist. Ready? There is a business phone number that appears on this card of 824-898-7716. Is that the right business number?
Yes, it is.
There is a whole bunch of handwritten phone numbers written above that. Are those for Mr. Dunlop as well?
Yeah, that's his cell phone and a phone number for the shop.
On the back of this card, there are a few other phone numbers. Do you know what those are?
Those are just friends.
One of these says Joey Sell. Was that your number at that point in time?
Yeah, that's me.
Are any of these other numbers here on the back related to any work that you did in 2015?
No.
Are any of the numbers on there on the back related to Gold Coast in any way?
No.
It just happens to be on the back of the card?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at that. It looks like a copy of a pay stub from Gold Coast. Is that correct?
Looks like it.
That is Exhibit 7 for the record. Did you produce any other pay stubs from Gold Coast other than what is shown in Exhibit 7?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Well, you've got all of the original pay stubs right in front of you. Do you think they are all here?
I think this is the only one.
Well, let me ask you this. How long did you work for Gold Coast? And if you need to look at it, go ahead.
All I remember is that I worked for them for a real short period of time.
Is the entire work you did for them shown here in Exhibit 7 in terms of the total pay?
There could have been one more, but I'm not sure if there was.
Now, you found this job by answering an ad on Craigslist. Is that right?
Yes, that's how I heard about the job.
You answered the ad on May 3rd and you worked until May 13th for this company. Is that right?
Correct. It was a real short time.
Do you have any recollection of working beyond May 13th for this company?
I can't remember if I did or not, but I don't think so.
But you just don't have all of the pay stubs to be accurate, do you?
No, I don't.
What I'm trying to get at is what your recollection is. This isn't a trick question, so you don't have to be nervous. If you have them, you have them. If you don't, you don't. And you are saying these are the only pay stubs you could find. Is that right?
I don't think there are any others.
Looking at the pay stub, it appears that the total hours worked for the period of time in question was 43 hours. Is that right in terms of the time you put in for this company?
Yes, 43 hours sounds right to me.
So if I took the total hours and divided it into the figure at the top, would that give me your hourly rate?
Yes, I think it would.
It doesn't appear as if you put in any overtime from looking at this. Do you recall getting any overtime wages from this company?
No, I don't think I got any.
How did you locate this job, did you say?
It was posted on Craigslist. I saw an ad on Craigslist.
Was there a phone number listed that you called up?
I sent in my resume and they called me.
What? This is your second Q&A final examination at 120 words per minute. Your proper names are Channing Way, Ford, General, and Monroe. Ready? Did you see the vehicle again later on that night?
Yes, we did.
About how long was it between the time you first saw it and the time you saw it again?
I don't know how long it was.
Where did you see it when you saw it for the second time that night?
It was on Channing Way again.
When you saw the white Ford the first time, how many people did you see riding in it?
It looked like there was only 2 people in the front.
So you did not see anyone in the back of the truck. Is that correct?
Not at that time, no.
Now, when you saw the truck the second time that night, how many people were in the vehicle?
There was 3 in the back and 2 in the front.
When you saw the truck the second time, where on Channing Way did you see it?
We were like in front of the school and they were down by the end of the street.
After you saw the white truck down at the end of the street, did anything happen?
Yes. They drove up to us and fired 2 shots.
Do you think it was less than a minute or more than a minute when you saw it again?
It was about 30 seconds later.
Where was the vehicle in relation to you when the shots were fired from it?
It came up right alongside of us.
What side of your truck did the white truck come up on?
It came up on the driver's side.
Was the truck close to yours in terms of the space between the 2 vehicles?
Yes.
Is that when the shots were fired from the white truck?
Yes.
Did you see where the shots came from within the white truck?
They came from the bed of the pickup.
Did you see anyone with a gun in the back of the pickup?
Yes. I saw a person stand up and fire a gun.
Did you notice anything about the person that stood up and fired at you?
The only thing I was able to tell was that he was white and he had a beard.
What happened next once the shots were fired?
My friends drove me to the hospital from there.
Which hospital did they drive you to?
We went to General in Monroe.
How long were you at the hospital at that time?
I was there about 4 hours.
Were you injured as a result of being shot at?
Yes, I was.
Where were you injured from the gunfire?
A bullet went through this part of my arm and out the back.
You are referring to your left arm, is that correct?
Yes.
Was the truck you were riding in damaged at all from the gunfire?
Yes. The first shot put a hole in the driver's door.
What damage, if any, did the second shot do?
It broke the window and went through the other door.
So it went through the other door and back out. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you notice what the person who fired the gun was wearing?
All I could tell was he had a hat on.
Can you describe what kind of a hat it was that he had on?
I'm not really sure.
Had you been seen by a doctor by the time the police arrived?
Yes, I had been.
When you got to the hospital, were you seen by a doctor right away?
I don't know.
Why is it that you don't know at what point I'm going to pause this.
Okay, and this will be your 100 Q&A final number 1, and you have no proper names. This is 100 Q&A final number 1. Ready? Ma'am, you understand this is a deposition and you are going to be asked certain questions regarding your husband?
Yes.
If you don't understand a question that I ask, or if there is any question in your mind about it, don't answer it. Just tell me you don't understand, and I will try to rephrase it. All right?
Yes.
You are familiar with this document I'm showing you?
Yes.
At one time, did you read it and sign it?
Yes.
Is it a fact that your husband is drunk every night of the week?
Yes.
Does he normally become intoxicated after 6 p.m. at night?
Yes.
He doesn't drink while at work. Is that right?
Not that I'm aware of.
What time do you yourself get home from work?
I usually get home by 9 o'clock at night.
And every night of the week, he would be intoxicated by the time you got home from work?
Yes, very drunk.
When you use the word drunk, what does that mean to you?
You can't talk to him. He is a completely different person and he gets abusive.
Is this every night that he is abusive, or only when he drinks?
He drinks every night.
So he becomes physically abusive to you every night of the week?
Yes, unless he passes out before that happens.
How many children do the two of you have?
3.
Are the 3 of them still living at home?
They are all 3 living with my parents at this time.
And is that due to your husband's drinking?
It's due to his drinking and abusiveness.
You state in this document that your husband sat down to dinner every night with half a gallon of vodka. Is that correct?
Yes.
If you don't get home from work until 9 at night, how do you know this?
My children told me.
Did your children witness the actual fact of his drinking?
They did until I put them with my parents.
But in any event, you left your children alone with him during the week?
Yes, for a short period of time.
Now, on these nights, were there other persons present other than your husband and your children?
Once in a while, my parents would be there for dinner.
How long has your husband's drinking been a problem?
He started drinking years ago.
Would you say he has been drinking for at least 10 years?
I think he's been drinking all his life, and it got worse and worse.
You also gave statements that your husband is physically abusive to you, correct?
Yes,
Does he strike you when he is drinking?
he has done a lot more than hit me.
When was the last time your husband hit you?
2 months ago.
Does he hit you in front of your children?
They aren't with us anymore. They are with my parents.
When your children were still in the house, did your husband ever hit you in front of them?
Yes,
Okay, your 100 Q&A final number 2. You have Mrs. Toniper and Mr. Orloff. This is 100 Q&A final number 2 for 5 minutes. Ready? Do you recall the name of the tenant who complained about the poor lighting?
no, I don't.
To your knowledge, was there any action taken after she complained about the lighting?
Yes, we fixed the problem.
What did fixing the lighting problem entail?
We put in some brighter light bulbs.
Was that done on all of the stairways in the building?
I don't know.
But you do know that you put in brighter light bulbs on the stairs that Mrs. Toniper used?
Yes,
To your knowledge, has anyone other than Mrs. Toniper ever slipped or fallen on those same stairs?
no. She was the first in all the time I've been there.
Other than this one complaint, has any tenant ever talked to you about the lighting near the stairs?
No, they have not.
To your knowledge, has any tenant ever complained that the stairs were slippery?
No,
To your knowledge, has any tenant ever complained about the lack of handrails on the stairs?
no.
Okay. I believe that you were here when Mr. Orloff testified about a conversation he had with Mrs. Toniper. Do you recall that conversation?
No, I don't.
Did your husband ever talk to you about such a conversation that he had with Mrs. Toniper?
I don't recall if he did or did not.
Do you recall when it was that the light bulbs were changed on the stairs?
No, I can't recall the date.
Did you ever have a conversation with anyone about the light bulbs being changed?
Not that I recall.
You never discussed it with your husband?
I don't recall us ever talking about it.
Do you know if they were changed before or after Mrs. Toniper's accident?
I would be guessing if I answered that.
I don't want you to guess. If you have some idea, tell me, but I don't want you to guess, okay?
Then I have to say that I don't know.
When did you first learn that the light bulbs had been changed?
I don't remember.
No one other than Mrs. Toniper has ever complained to you about the lighting on the stairs?
That is correct.
Now, can you tell me about the complaint that Mrs. Toniper made?
I frankly don't remember much about it.
How did you learn about the complaint she made?
Our maintenance man told me.
Do you recall when Mr. Orloff put in strips on the stairs so they would be less slippery?
I recall seeing them there.
Do you recall when they were installed?
I can't give you a date on that.
Do you recall if they were there before Mrs. Tonifer's accident?
I don't know.
Did you ever ask Mr. Orloff to remove the strips?
No, I did not.
To your knowledge, you never spoke to your husband about having the strips taken off the stairs?
No, I did not.
Did you find the strips helpful?
I had never noticed that the stairs were slippery.
Did you feel that the strips were unnecessary?
I didn't have any.
Good luck on your finals.